Am I the a-hole for telling a guy he's socially incompetent because he was rude the entire dinner? So yesterday I was sitting at dinner at our college dining hall with a friend of mine, a guy I met from my class, and his friend. His friend was fine at first but gradually he became the most annoying person I've ever met. Let me explain. He constantly interrupted everyone at the table, told stories that were completely unrelated to the stories being shared at the time, and everything that came out of his mouth was about him. Literally nobody else. No questions, no comments about what someone previously had said, just what he wants to say next about him. This man was 23 acting like a 10-year-old. By around what felt like the fifth time he interrupted me, he proceeded to cut my friend off when she was right in the middle of a story with some bullshit. I said excuse me, my friend was talking, he said sorry. And fucking continued to interrupt us when we were talking. I was ready for this dinner to be over since he already ruined it, and his friend could tell we were done with his social incompetence. His friend said they had to go and we breathed a sigh of relief. As we were leaving, he tried to hug me and I dodged the hug. He said something along the lines of "This was really fun, I want to ask for your number," hitting on me, and I just said seriously? No. He said why not? I hesitated, looked at my friend, and told him the truth. That he was rude all night long, constantly interrupted us, and did not seem to understand any social cues. He seemed visibly upset and his friend shook my hand and they walked off. Every part of that man made me uncomfortable to my core, his behavior was just horrible. I wish you could have seen his behavior to understand what I mean. I promise you I'm not overreacting, usually people like this seem ignorable but he was speaking every 5 seconds. My friend told me she understood why I said that but it was really bitchy of me and that I need to work on my reactions. I told her that I was so done by the end of the night with his audacity and blindness that I snapped. I feel pretty bad, but at the same time, our other roommates told us that I was being reasonable after I explained the situation. My friend said that I shouldn't put effort into pleasing weird men or making them feel comfortable. I still feel shitty. Am I the a-hole for wanting my stepson to stay with his mom while he is sick? I, F36, am married to Matt, 38, he has a son Dylan, 8, from his previous relationship while I have my daughter Abby, 10, from mine. Matt and I have been together for 4 years and married for almost a year now. I love Dylan like he's my own and consider him as my son. He's a sweet little boy. Matt and his ex have 50-50 custody. 1 week will have Dylan for 4 days while his mom has him for 3 and vice versa. Abby's dad passed before she was born so she's with us full time. Abby also was born with a chronic illness and she has a really weakened immune system because of it and even does online/homeschooled. I know things happen and people get sick but when Abby gets sick she always ends up being hospitalized because of it. Yesterday Dylan's mom called Matt letting us know he probably has the stomach flu because he's been throwing up and has a fever. Dylan hadn't been with us for 2 days at that point and when he left our house he seemed perfectly healthy. I ended up talking to Dylan's mom wondering if he could stay with her until he's better so Abby doesn't possibly get sick. Dylan's mom knows about Abby's health but still insists Abby will be okay. I can just quarantine them both to their room until Dylan is better. That wouldn't be fair to either kid plus I would be around both of them and could possibly cross-contaminated to Abby. I asked Matt to talk to his ex and he tried but she then accused Abby being favored over Dylan which isn't true. Abby just has more needs health-wise. Dylan's mom then called me a a-hole and Matt is saying we should just try and have Dylan come back here. Am I the a-hole for telling my co-worker to leave me alone after my baby shower? I, F31, am 32 weeks pregnant with mine and my husband's first child. I've been co-workers/friends with Claire, F36, since I joined the company 5 years ago. We've always been quite close but I've been getting increasingly annoyed with her while I've been pregnant and it all came to blows at my baby shower last week. For some backstory, Claire has struggled with fertility for years. She suffered from pregnancy loss a few years ago and tried IVF but that failed which led to her marriage ending. I was supportive throughout and tried to be there for her as much as I could. Everything was okay between us until Claire found out I was pregnant. From the moment she found out, she's become slightly obsessed. She touches my belly constantly, begging to feel the baby kick and always asks how our baby is. I hate this and have made a point to say I don't like people touching my stomach apart from my husband. Claire in turn always tells people I don't like anyone touching my stomach apart from family, which she claims includes her. Am I the a-hole for buying a cake a child behind me wanted? My pregnant wife, our first, messaged me at the end of my work shift that she had sudden cravings for cake, and I was more than happy to get her one. Unfortunately as this was close to 6 p.m., the bakery only had a Swiss roll left in terms of cake. As I was selecting a few other breads, a mother and her daughter came in, and the girl noticed the Swiss roll in the display cabinet and shouted that she wanted it. However, I had already ordered it, and when the worker took it out for me, the girl started screaming and crying. The mother did initially ask if I could leave the roll for her, but I said that I ordered first. She then began getting extremely demanding, saying that I didn't need to eat it, Can't you feel for a kid, how selfish, etc. It only stopped with the worker said that I had came first and ordered it before the mother and daughter had even walked in. I got home and told my wife the incident. She said that I was a bit of an asshole for not giving up the cake for the kid, and that she would have understood if the store had no more since I did buy other sweetbreads, or I could have gone to the supermarket instead. She also asked why I didn't tell the mother that I was buying it for a pregnant wife with cravings. I didn't see the need to share private info, but wife said that maybe the mother would have understood, and that I appeared to be insensitive by sticking to ordering first as my argument. We did end up enjoying the Swiss roll and she told me not to worry and just be more mindful next time, but I can't help but feel a bit guilty. Was I the asshole for denying a kid a cake she wanted? Am I the a-hole for not letting my Mill and Phil help me with the baby after their reaction to me being injured? I, 21F, have a 7-month-old son with my boyfriend. My family lives abroad and are coming over to stay and help at Christmas time. For now, my Mill and Phil, 60s Deborah and Bob, are helping me with household stuff and the baby. So far, we haven't had any real issues and they've been a massive help. About 3 weeks ago, I fell down the stairs. I wasn't holding the baby and the baby was safe. However, instead of helping me, Deborah and Bob both jumped to comfort the baby who was crying, and left me at the bottom of the stairs. My legs were fine, but I was wobbly because of shock and asked one of them to help me up. After nearly 10 whole minutes of being ignored, I managed to stand up on my own and hobble through to the living room. I sit down and Deborah says, "What's happened to you? Are you okay?" I'll admit, I saw red. I just said I fell down the stairs. Didn't you hear me calling you for help? Deborah's eyes widened and she said she was too busy fussing over the baby. After an hour, my arm was swelling up and I was taken to hospital. Luckily, it was nothing serious and recovery time would be quick. After my boyfriend got home and his parents left, I told him I no longer want their help after today's events. I can manage on my own, even though it'll be hard. He was taken aback and said they've done a lot for us. I said I appreciated it all but they ignored me crying and calling them for 10 minutes after I fell down the stairs. They don't care about me, only the baby, and I was embarrassed I didn't see it sooner. He called his parents to let them know we won't need their help anymore and his dad said, "Is it about today?" We really didn't hear her. My boyfriend just told them they're invited to Sunday roast this week and that's all. I could tell he was not happy about my decision but he said he went along with it because I'm the mother. Fast forward to Sunday and my Bill and Sil are guests as well. Sil has a 3-year-old and is totally on my side but Bill is not. He told me to be grateful for his parents' support as they're significantly more well off than my parents are and paid for many newborn/infant expenses and plan to pay for many more as the baby grows. Since then, Deborah keeps calling asking if we need any help and says she feels awful not seeing the both of you and that she misses the baby.